Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Bold and Beautiful's Ridge has all the power again, but here's what needs to happen. Stop us if you've heard this one before. A beautiful blonde woman walks into a room and suggests that a handsome man, who is currently involved with a beautiful brunette woman, ditch his current, kinda significant other and return to her. If you're a longtime Bold and Beautiful fan, you've most definitely seen this scenario play out numerous times. While watching this scenario play out yet again on the episode, which aired on Tuesday, March 26, recapped here, we reached for something to throw at the screen. Where is Eric's much-discussed stapler when you really need it? The thing is, and we've been saying this for quite some time now, we no longer care. We stopped caring ages ago because both women deserve better. It was downright embarrassing to watch Brooke literally suggest Ridge crawl out of Taylor's bed and back into hers. And before y'all start gathering your pitchforks and suggesting we're big ol' Logan haters, let's make this clear. We were every bit as embarrassed for Taylor when she threw back the sheets and said, "Come on in, big boy," about 5 seconds after the lunkhead nonsensically declared Brooke had betrayed him. This show has a long history of wash-rinse-repeat storytelling. However, there comes a point when you're no longer revisiting a classic story, but rather lazily playing out beats which, thanks to the law of diminishing returns, stopped being interesting a long time ago. It's also worth noting that having two smart, savvy women fighting over a man who has dumped them both repeatedly isn't exactly the most awesome way to end International Women's Month. This is doubly true given that soaps are traditionally thought of as a genre aimed at a predominantly female audience. Remember when Brooke and Taylor, then Krista Allen, stood in solidarity, declaring that they were through being treated like dirt? Remember how we hopefully suggested great men for both of them to consider moving on with? Yet here we are, a few short years later, with these incredible ladies standing before the roguish designer and putting all the power in his hands. Bold and Beautiful's Ridge has all the power again, but here's what needs to happen. For years, Ridge Forrester has been the cornerstone of the Bold and the Beautiful, the man whose charm, ambition, and sometimes questionable decisions have shaped the drama of the show. From his turbulent relationships to his status as the head of Forrester Creations, Ridge has always found himself in the center of the action, caught between his family, his business, and his heart. As the latest developments push Ridge back into a position of power, the question that looms large is, what happens next? For all his power, Ridge has been a man who teetered between two worlds, family loyalty and personal ambition. His comeback to the top of the Forrester empire has been a long time coming, but it raises a few interesting points. After so many power struggles, what does Ridge need to do to truly make a difference, to reclaim his position not just as a business tycoon, but as a leader, a father, and a man of principle? 1. Focus on family dynamics. At the heart of Ridge's identity is his family, his father, Eric Forrester, and his children, the powerful Forrester heirs. Ridge's return to power must begin with a recalibration of family relationships. Ridge has often been torn between his duty to the Forrester legacy and his personal feelings, especially when it comes to his children. Whether it's his complex relationship with Steffi, his strained dynamic with Thomas, or his ever-evolving role as a father to both of his sons, Ridge must step up and be the father they all need. Too often, Ridge's actions have been clouded by his romantic entanglements. But now, with his children in pivotal positions at Forrester Creations, Ridge needs to take a leadership role that places family first. He must set aside petty rivalries, accept his children's individual paths, and create a harmonious dynamic that fosters growth and unity. This will require a deep level of self-awareness. Ridge can no longer be the divided man caught between desires. His family needs him to be steadfast and to lead with integrity. Ridge must become the patriarch that unites, not divides. This means accepting Steffi and Thomas for their strengths and weaknesses, and actively working to heal the fractured relationships that have plagued the Forrester family. He must also learn to delegate power and trust his children to make bold decisions, even if those choices diverge from his own. It's time for Ridge to step back and allow his children to rise, with him offering wisdom and support rather than rebuild his marriage with Brooke. For Ridge, Brooke Logan has always been his great love, despite the many ups and downs in their relationship. The tragic history of their love story has been filled with infidelity, misunderstandings, and emotional turbulence. However, with Ridge in control of Forrester Creations again, he must also take a hard look at his personal life, particularly with Brooke. If Ridge wants to retain his power and truly evolve as a character, his relationship with Brooke must evolve as well. No more games, no more back and forth. The time has come for Ridge to make a true commitment, not just to the business, but to his partner. In the past, Ridge has let external pressures tear them apart, whether it was his impulsive decisions or Brooke's entanglement with other men. But now, Ridge has to fight for Brooke in a way he never has before. The audience has witnessed Ridge stand by Brooke and vice versa, but it's clear that their relationship requires more than just moments of passion. It needs dedication, trust, and communication. Ridge must confront the deeper layers of his fears and insecurities about love, opening up in ways he's never done before. This could be the time for Ridge and Brooke to step into a new chapter, one based on mutual respect and transparency. 3. Tackle Thomas issues head-on. The issues surrounding Thomas Forrester have been some of the most tumultuous in Ridge's life. Ridge has often found himself defending his son, despite Thomas' questionable actions. However, if Ridge is to truly reclaim power in his life, he cannot ignore the elephant in the room. Ridge must finally confront Thomas' behavior and address his son's ongoing struggles with obsession, manipulation, and impulsiveness. This isn't about punishment or banishment. It's about intervention. Thomas is a talented designer, but his personal issues have threatened to destroy everything his father worked for. Ridge needs to be the father Thomas needs, firm yet understanding. He must have an honest conversation with Thomas about the consequences of his actions and the importance of taking responsibility. It's time for Ridge to step in and take a tough love approach, making it clear that success in business cannot come at the expense of personal integrity. At the same time, Ridge must show empathy for Thomas' struggles. This could be the moment for Ridge to finally forge a path toward healing in his son's life. By being the rock that Thomas needs, Ridge will demonstrate that leadership isn't just about power, it's about guiding others through their flaws. 4. Leverage his position for the greater good. Ridge's return to power could be a game changer not just for Forrester Creations, but for the entire fashion industry. He has the potential to lead with innovation, creativity, and forward-thinking ideas. However, with great power comes great responsibility. Ridge cannot allow his position to be an ego trip or a mere business advantage. He must use it for the greater good. Ridge needs to spearhead initiatives that will reshape the fashion industry. This could involve developing new collections that cater to diverse markets, supporting eco-friendly fashion, or using the Forrester brand to support charitable causes. Ridge has always been at the forefront of the business world, but now he can elevate Forrester Creations into a company that stands for more than just profits. Additionally, Ridge should embrace mentorship. Rather than simply holding power for himself, he should bring up the next generation of designers and business leaders. He could act as a guiding force in the industry, helping to shape the future of fashion and inspiring young talent. This approach will not only benefit Forrester Creations, but solidify Ridge's legacy as someone who left a lasting impact beyond the boardroom. 5. Find peace with his past. Lastly, Ridge's journey to true power requires him to find peace with his past. The Forrester family has been riddled with secrets, betrayals, and unresolved issues, but Ridge cannot move forward until he makes peace with the ghosts that haunt him. Whether it's reconciling with the mistakes of his youth or healing from the pain of past relationships, Ridge must find closure. Only then will he be able to embrace a future that isn't clouded by past failures. Ridge needs to forgive himself and accept that he cannot control everything. It's time for him to truly let go of the weight that has held him back, whether that means reconciling with his own demons, mending fences with old enemies, or finally letting go of the parts of his identity that have caused him grief. Ridge Forrester is a man of many layers, but as he reclaims his power, he must evolve. It's no longer enough to simply be the man in charge of Forrester Creations. He needs to take a holistic approach to his life, strengthening his family, mending broken relationships, confronting personal demons, and using his position for the greater good.